What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Red Glare Podcast. Don't mind the birthday stuff here. It's not my birthday. This is totally unrelated to this. But we're back here for another episode, and I'm joined as always by my man Paul. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? What's up, everybody watching? Man, I can't wait to get into it. We got a lot this week. I want to shout out to you called out Stephen A. No, not Stephen A. You called out somebody for saying Steph was the MVP.
I called out Steph for saying he's MVP.
Steph said he was MVP?
Yeah, I was like, Steph said he's definitely MVP, and I was like, he's out of his mind. There's no way. There's no way. But we'll get to that. We'll get to some of that. We'll get to maybe an unsung hero of the NBA named Julius Randle, someone over there in New York, and so much more. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and talk about the resignation of Houston Rockets CEO Tad Brown.
Yeah.
So I read up on that article, and it turns out he was like a big reason why Fertitta came here. He kind of helped Fertitta get here. And kind of crazy to see him go. I'm wondering if maybe just the weight of everything. He just maybe he wants to, sit at home and hang out with the probably millions of dollars he has. But it's kind of crazy, midway through the year. Well, not even midway. We're almost done with the season. He comes out with this, and then now we just heard today that John Wall's going to be sitting out for the rest of the season. So it seems like some guys are just packing it up, getting ready for this season to be done. What were your thoughts when you saw this?
I mean, honestly, I was surprised. I don't want to say shocked. I think that's a big cliche, but I was very surprised. Presidents a lot of times really are the backbones of organizations, and they don't get enough credit, man. But these are the guys who play a huge influence in getting the GM, getting the coaches, kind of creating the culture. There's a whole other back end that, we see the players on the court, but there's also employees that do smaller details. And Tad Brown was overseeing all of that for years with the Rockets. So I think it was definitely surprising in that he chose the timing the way that he did as well. He said he's going to finish the season, but it was still a surprise. That I think it was a surprise. He let it be known midway through, hey, I'm done. It kind of sounds like he can't really take much, is it like I'm in a job right now and I can't really take too much more of it,
Yeah.
Like I might have to let him know, before the end of the quarter that I can't take much, or something like that. Like he's in one of these predicaments where he felt it was important to speak up now. So I think it says a lot about what's going on behind the scenes. Of course, we saw Daryl Morey already leave. We saw James Harden leave. We saw Russell Westbrook leave. We saw Mike D'Antoni leave. You're basically, Tillman Fertitta's came in and the Rockets have done a 180. We're a completely different organization now. So I think it's safe to say if you didn't think we were in rebuild at the beginning of the season, we're in complete rebuild now.
Absolutely. And I think it speaks volumes to what Tillman Fertitta has brought to the Houston Rockets. He's a big reason why Daryl Morey wanted out. Daryl Morey felt like he was being maybe handcuffed by Fertitta. Yeah. James Harden felt the same way, and all the word behind the scenes is that Fertitta is very frugal. He's not really wanting to spend the money that he needs to spend, which is surprising coming from a Fertitta brother who is known for, taking big risks in order to make things happen. And it seems like with Houston Rockets, he's not willing to do that. We haven't yet seen him really dip into the pockets yet. We don't know if maybe he's waiting for something crazy, but when he first came, he wasn't willing to dip in the pockets to go get a guy. He was very hesitant to do that. So it's interesting to see that someone who was very influential in bringing Tillman Fertitta here and who seemed to have a really good relationship with Tillman Fertitta, even he seems to have had enough. I hope that's not the what is it like the? I hope that's not what happens every time. I hope this isn't like a thing that we have to deal with now as a guy coming in or somebody coming in and having to deal with Fertitta and then eventually wanting to leave. We're seeing what that looks like with the Texans with Bob McNair before him and now and now Cal McNair. Like that's not how I want Houston sports to be run. Maybe they need a bit more like the Astros, who seem to reward success. They seem to have no problem doing that, even though now
and they take risks.
Yeah, and they took risks. They took major risks.
Yeah.
And it paid off, but I don't know. Something's happening here in Houston with sports owners, and it sucks when it's an owners when it's an owner issue, because it's not like a GM where you can just go find yourself another owner. He's got to sell, and until that guy does that, until said person does that or passes it down, you're kind of stuck with this mentality. We have seen it maybe got better, like look in Dallas with with Jerry Jones. I know Jerry Jones used to be way worse than he was before. I think he's still bad, but he's not as bad as he once was back when he was allowing Tony Romo to start and feeling like that was the guy. So forget that. According to reports, Jerry Jones was over the moon about Johnny Manziel and wanted them to draft Johnny Manziel, and his son Jones said, nope, that's not happening. So
yeah,
I don't know if they need someone that's willing to call out Fertitta on certain things. I guess as long as Fertitta's not getting into player development or players getting signed and like, or not players not getting signed, but like not drafting who he wants over who his coach wants. That's what I'm hoping he doesn't start doing.
Yeah, I mean that's a good comparison you made actually, because Jerry Jones' son and then Tillman Fertitta's son is heavily involved with the team too, and both of them are young. So like at some point, you obviously want to teach your children principles of business and things like that, but at the same time, what are you sacrificing when it comes to the actual team and the fan base? So. I'm not sure how much Tillman's son, how much power he has in the organization, but yeah, like when Harden was leaving, I remember a reporter asked him, "Hey, if Daryl Morey was still the GM and D'Antoni was still your coach, would you be willing to stay here?" And he didn't exactly say yes, but he hesitated, and he said, it'd very much be a different situation. And he kind of affirmed that he believed in Daryl Morey as his general manager. And I think that's important in any job. The guy ahead of you or the guy above you in the order, you want to believe in, you want to have confidence in, you want to know that that person's going to teach you how to grow. Even if you're not in the same position, at least in life, Daryl Morey looked out for James Harden. He always surrounded him with talent, always took risk around James. And now that everyone's kind of fallen off the ladder and it's all the way up to the president, yeah, the finger is pointed at the owner. What's Tillman going to do from here? I couldn't even begin to guess who's going to replace Tad Brown, but I think that hire will say a lot about where they're trying to go. If it's a very conservative hire and they start not wanting to sign free agents this summer, I think you definitely have to have some red flags about the future, or at least the next 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And sorry. Yeah, I mean, I understand why James Harden loved Daryl Morey. James Harden basically got everything he wanted when Daryl Morey was GM. If James Harden asked for it, Daryl Morey delivered, and it must have definitely been like a big shock probably when he went to Rafael Stone, said he needed something, and Rafael Stone was probably like, no.
Yeah,
I don't think that's where the team goes, and that could be a huge. That could be like a big reason why he was wanting to leave so badly and wanted things to happen a lot faster than we thought they were going to move. I honestly thought that Harden wasn't going to move to like closer to the trade deadline. I didn't expect to go all out in terms of playing the way he played. I legit think that he was half-assing plays. I don't think he came to play. Yeah. He was out of shape. According to DeMarcus Cousins, he was just not good for the locker room.
Yeah.
So it must have been really bad for him to want to go that badly.
Yeah, I mean it's a good point. Like you kind of this year we've kind of had vibes of like secrecy and things behind
Mhm.
doors. Steven Silas having to speak up about Harden's condition instead of Raphael Stone, and Raphael Stone came out after the Harden trade and had all this cryptic messaging about judging the trade and stuff like that. And I think Rockets fans, we haven't experienced that in a long time. Even when Leslie Alexander was the owner, there was a lot of honesty and a lot of
Mhm.
transparency on, especially Daryl Morey. We're trying to play this style of offense. We're trying to win this way. We're committed to these things. And we always heard those things now. And all of a sudden, we just don't know what the identity of the team is. You look at someone like Christian Wood, and it shows a lot of promise, but there's like a lot of question marks in the organization around him. So it makes it hard to see kind of what the plan is going to be. Are we building around this guy? How much are we actually believing in him at this point? You might even question that because everybody seems to be dropping like flies and going elsewhere.
Yeah.
So we'll see, man.
Yeah, for sure. It's tough. I hope that he is in the future for the Rockets. I really hope that he's not going to be the next kind of like guy to say, I want out too, because I was really excited about that signing when we signed Christian Wood. I thought that was one of the best signings that we've had in a while. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it meant so much more because it was an actual signing. It wasn't a trade. We didn't force this guy to come here because of that team, because the Pistons didn't want him anymore. Like, we were able to convince him to come over here and
Right.
sign with the team, even knowing he probably thought he was going to play with James maybe for a little bit longer than he was. But I mean, I'm pretty sure he probably knew, like, hey, he's on the way out. It could become my team. I mean, injuries got in the way of that. Bad trades, I would say. I would say probably the fact
Yeah, man.
that we didn't get the proper weapons around him, and the fact that we got Oladipo, and instead of like figuring out like how this guy's gonna settle and become the guy of our future, how is he gonna be in the plan for the future? It was more of a transitional thing, and I don't know, man. When you make plans, like when you do that, and those comments from Raphael Stone that you mentioned before, those definitely don't make me feel very confident going forward.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, man. It's very suspicious what's going
Yeah.
on. And the Rockets, it's crazy. The Texans organization has bad things going on over there. The Rockets organization has things going on over there. I don't know what's going on here in Houston in sports, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Something's got to turn it around, bro.
Yeah,
too
but
too
with
bad
that
we
being,
don't have. I was gonna say too bad we don't have the XFL team anymore. The
oh, I know,
Roughnecks.
man. I miss the Roughnecks. I miss the Roughnecks. PJ Walker was my man, dude.
Hell
He was
yeah.
awesome. But at least one team has gotten on the right track, which is the Houston Astros. They are now, I believe they're on they are now not doing great. They're still 10-11, but they have bounced back
Yeah.
from that really bad losing streak that we were on. We did lose, I think it was yesterday. We lost yesterday, but we are losing. We are winning right now. We won the series between the Angels. Friday night was a great game. Very slow in the beginning. Me and my son and my family were there at the game. Very
Oh,
slow
cool.
game until about the seventh inning, and then it started coming alive, and a nice little walk off hit. I mean, a nice little walk off from Robel Garcia, who I didn't know about him before the game. I'll never forget him now. It was awesome, and then we destroyed the Angels on Saturday, but we did lose yesterday. They are up 4-1 on the Mariners, so hopefully to see them
Yeah.
kind of bounce back. All the guys that were missing for that long losing streak are back.
Yeah.
Altuve just got back into the lineup, I believe, yesterday. So, good to have him back, and hopefully things start to look up from there, from that end. But in terms of the Rockets, looking up because we keep losing.
Yeah. Looking up
Which
the
is
draft
good.
board.
Yes, we're getting up there. At the moment, I just had the standings. We are on a nice little 4-game losing streak, and the are literally 2 games, or we're 2 games behind the Timberwolves. So we have a nice little hold of that number one spot. But as we know, the dreaded draft lottery is next for us.
Yeah. Um, That's the thing about it is you feel good that you're the worst team, you have the highest odds, but it's like not going to be certain, and it would be typical Rockets fashion to not get that number one pick. Like I hate to say it, that would be the worst
Yeah.
case for us.
Our
So yeah, I
last
mean,
number one pick was Yao.
exactly, man. So all we can do is kind of like hope we keep losing. I mean, well, you never want to like root for your team to lose, but I think this is that extenuating circumstance where it's okay to be rooting for the Rockets to lose. I mean,
Mhm.
you just lost your star player. Like we just talked about, everybody else has quit. And you have a chance to someone like Cade Cunningham. I mean, you got to root for those losses. After every game, I see the little Instagram comments like, "Are we even trying out there?" and stuff like that. And I think a lot of people miss the point. At this point, you're trying to lose, and you want to improve your draft stock.
Absolutely, you're trying to lose. Looking at the at the standings at the moment, we have the Jazz in the Western Conference. We have the Jazz number
Yeah.
one, Suns number 2, Clippers number 3, Nuggets number 4. The Lakers have dropped all the way to 5. That was before they were battling for the 3. I mean, they were at the 3rd spot. They were battling for 2 and 1. They're very close, but they have fallen back. They are a nice little 8.5 games behind the Jazz. So
Yeah.
even the Nuggets, who are above them, they are just one spot above them. They are a full 2.5 games behind the Nuggets. So I think the 5 spot's probably right, that sweet spot where they're going to be. The Nuggets are probably safe at 4 because they are 5 games. They're 3 games behind the Clippers at number 3, well, at 4. So after that, you got the Mavs, the Blazers, the Grizzlies at 8, and then the 9 and the 10 seed are the Spurs and the Warriors. The Warriors are interesting because everyone is going off about how Steph Curry is the MVP for 1 month.
He's not.
He was definitely the April MVP. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he was the player of the month.
Yeah, but he's not the MVP.
No way.
I think at the moment, I feel like taking it away from Jokic just because of injuries and just because Steph had a great April, which has died down now. It's not that great anymore. It's not fair, and I see a lot of guys is because that don't want to give it to Jokic because he's not the sexy pick. People are getting injured,
Right.
but that's kind of how it goes. Like you can't. The same way I feel about like championship games and when Stephen A. Smith was going off about how the championship, the college basketball championship was Michigan State and Texas. I think it was Texas Tech and Virginia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and going off about that, like, oh, I'm not going to watch it because of Duke. Well, then you don't love sports, man. Like that's what that's what is about. Like you have
I
to.
love games like that. I love when it's two people who never have a chance to win.
Exactly, and just because Jokic isn't the guy that you expected, but you can't take anything away from Jokic. He's been doing it all year long. Has not missed a game. I'm gonna actually look up his stats if I can. But even with the fall of Jamal Murray, I expected the Nuggets to like go down hard in the standings, and they have pretty much stand pat at 4.
Yeah.
They haven't moved, and that's all because of Jokic. And to not give him the MVP because he's not Embiid or he's not Curry is a crime to the award.
I mean, I agree, man. 100%. Like I don't see a case for Steph like at all. I think it's a reach by the media. And I like Steph. I know a lot of Rockets fans who don't like the Warriors in general or Steph because they kind of feel a rivalry. But I got news for you. The Warriors beat us every year. They don't see it as a rivalry on their end. So you should let that grudge go. Steph is a great player. But come on, man. I think they're in the 10 seed right now. We can't seriously consider giving MVP to a team in the 10 seed to begin with. I think that's for me, that makes it no deal. If the Warriors went on maybe like a 10-game winning streak and won like 15 of the next 20 games, okay, maybe we can consider Steph if he kept the pace up. But if Steph is going to be considered as MVP, it's going to be a photo finish of him winning MVP because Like you said, I mean, Denver's been consistent, and Murray went down, dude. When Murray went down, I honestly thought Nuggets were done. Like that was my first thought. I was like, you know what, Nuggets are done this year. And yeah, they might not win the championship, but dude, they're still playing better ball than the Lakers are right now. And not to mention in the West, like I sent Alec that we looked at the standings of the whole NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the Nuggets are 39-21. The second seed in the Eastern Conference, the Sixers, have the same record.
Yep.
It showed you how good of a team the Nuggets are, and West teams in general. So I think he definitely deserves it. Like I was with you with Joe Embiid. Like I kind of wanted that to happen, but I get it. He's been too banged up. He lost the momentum. Jokic just has been the one consistent player, man, and I think he deserves it.
Like look at it from this, like you said, if you rank the teams 1 through 30, based on their standings, and the playoffs were the top 16 teams, regardless of conference, the Warriors wouldn't even be in the playoffs.
Yeah,
they're the 17th ranked team in terms of their record. They are 31-30, barely over 500. I felt gross about giving Westbrook the MVP, and they were like the 5th or 6th seed.
right.
When he averaged the triple double, and I was like, how is he winning? Should matter. Winning matters.
And not to mention what happened in that playoffs. The Rockets beat them in 5. James Harden.
Them.
Yeah.
It wasn't even close. It's just because, in my opinion, that's when Harden should have won that. And I understand why they gave it to Westbrook is because it hadn't happened since Oscar Robertson. But in hindsight, you're like, oh, he's going to do this every year. It's not that special. Like it's just in hindsight that giving somebody that and giving a team and their player the MVP when they were at so low of a seed just showed that it wasn't that special. It didn't matter that much because it's not like he was averaging 30, 15 rebounds and 15 assists. He was averaging I'm actually want to look at it when he did that because it wasn't like crazy numbers.
Yeah, check it.
Because in my opinion, if you have a 20-point triple-double, I mean, if you don't have a 20-point triple-double, it's not really a triple-double. Like you got to at least have 20 points in your triple-double.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, and also that season, I think Harden had like great numbers. Like he was averaging like 8 assists, but it was this whole concept in people's heads about, one's a triple double and one's not. Mm-hmm. And that's why this guy deserves it. But look what happened, It was insignificant, dude. We saw it the first round in the playoffs and everyone's like, whatever, MVP. No one cares about MVP. Playoffs started.
So let's see. The first year that he averaged a triple double was where the hell is points per game? Do I not have my points per game? What the hell? Field goal percentage. I don't have points though. This is not a great one. Let me see if I can find somewhere else. But yeah, I mean. Just ridiculous, I think. If Curry, I would argue I could give you Embiid. If you said Embiid, I could give you Embiid. But my automatic would be to point to all the games that he's missed. Harden fell off whenever he lost, he hurt, and he's basically shut down indefinitely.
He probably could have won if he stayed healthy.
He probably would have won if he stayed healthy. But I think he probably is worn out his legs are might be shot at this point. He did so much for us when he played here. So let's see, points per game. The year that he went, I'm trying to remember what year that was.
The MVP race with Harden and Westbrook.
Yeah,
I want to say 17.
I think I have it. I think it was 2016, 2017. Because he averaged 31.6 points a game. He averaged 10.7 rebounds per game and 10.4 assists per game. It's like he barely made a triple double. He does better now, I think. Like at the moment, he's averaging a double and he's averaging 21.8 points, 11 rebounds, and 10.9 assists. Like it's a much better. It would to me like that. That's a much better triple double that I would rather, I guess, reward than the one that he had when he won the MVP issue because it hadn't happened since Big O.
Right.
So I get
Yeah.
it, but you have to learn from your mistakes and stop rewarding things like that.
For sure. Like, and that's what I was gonna say too. Like, I got total respect for Russell. I really like him as a player, but the media decides the MVP award. And like not too long ago on ESPN.com, there was a vote for who they thought was the MVP about a week ago, and it was Jokic. So and second was Embiid. I guarantee you this week if they did it again, it would be Steph and Jokic. Something completely different. Like the media takes whatever's relevant and that's what they're gonna run with. Hopefully Jokic doesn't lose because of some BS, but we got to see, man. There's still a fifth of the season left, and we'll see how it goes.
So Jokic has played 60 games, and he has he averages 26.2 points per game. He averages 1.4 steals, 8.7 assists, and 10.9 rebounds. Like that's really good. And if this guy doesn't get it, and then you look at another guy, let's look at Joel Embiid.
Yeah, man. I mean, if Jokic was playing point guard, they probably would have given it to him by now with those.
Oh, yeah. And Joel Embiid has played 41 games.
Yeah.
So an entire 21 games less. He's averaging 30 points per game. Rebounds, he's at 11.1. And assists, he's only at 3.1. And let's see, who else is we had? Curry. So let's see, Steph.
Yeah, let's look at Steph. We'll give him a fair shake.
Steph Curry. He's played 53 games. Played 53. He's averaging 31.3. Assists, he's only got 5.8. And at rebounds, he's only got 5.6.
I don't see it, man.
I don't either. And I get it was a great and a lot of, from what I've heard, a lot of his averages have come from these like high scoring games that he's had where he's shooting the lights out of the thing. Like I can't lie, that 49-point game that he had that 59-point game he had where it and a lot of people were saying like, oh, we haven't seen this since Harden, but even Harden was scoring like that, but a lot of it was scoring at the line. All like shooting up lights. Like his 3-point percentage to this day today is he's hitting 427.
That's crazy, man.
That's
insane. That's insane, dude. The Warriors are really fun to watch right now. Actually, like it really is. Like you can see how much the surrounding cast believes in Steph. When Steph falls down, all those guys are trying to pick him up, and if he's like being hard on himself, all the rest of them are like encouraging him. But the reason it's fun is just to appreciate Steph right now. Like if you want to appreciate Steph before he retires, this is the perfect time.
Mm-hmm.
Just watch him shoot lights out, especially before Klay Thompson comes back. Like if you want to see Steph in his pure form, it's a great time to watch him.
All right, so here's an even better thing. So I'm looking at basketballreference.com, and they have the 2021 MVP award tracker. Number 1 is Nikola Jokic.
Okay.
Where Curry is. I have 10 names on here. Guess where Curry is?
4.
He's not even on the list.
Damn.
Like, can we stop, please? Like, I think it's gonna stop. We can't talk about this. Embiid's not even on the list. The next closest guy with 11 points. So the probability of Giannis, but the probability there's a probability, and Jokic is at 65.9% chance to win. Giannis is at 11.5. Like in Basketball Reference's eyes, the award race is over. And I think it is too. It's Jokic. We got to stop trying to put in.
Yeah, let's just stop it. Put it.
We got to stop putting. Yeah, we got to stop putting these bigger names because we don't like that the bigger names aren't there. Like it was a weird season. Players got hurt. A lot of players got hurt. I was probably in my original MVP prediction was LeBron. I thought LeBron was going to have like a crazy year and just
Yeah.
but I mean, he got hurt. Anthony Davis got hurt. Everyone's really got hurt, and the only one guy. Why can't we reward a guy for being durable and being able to play the game? That's where I'm at. So
That's
I'm
it, folks.
see, like even this is yardbarker.com. It's who are the favorites for each major NBA award. This was posted 2 days ago, and at MVP they have Joel Embiid.
Dude, hey man, I like Joel Embiid midway through the season, but a guy who's only played half the season can't win it. I mean, that just doesn't make sense to me.
Me neither, man. So I'm looking here. Let's see.
Giannis sounds more believable than Joel Embiid at this point.
Yeah. So Rookie of the Year favorite to win is LaMelo Ball, and I think that's good. I like that because he was the clear cut favorite to win Rookie of the Year, and then he got hurt, and he came back from that broken wrist. He could have shut it down. He could have been like, I don't want to play. And dude came back. They're going to be in the play-in. But I'm really excited to see LaMelo in the playoffs, even if he gets swept, just to see this dude play. Like he's so much better than Lonzo because I think they have two different games. But LaMelo's game is just so much more exciting to watch.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like if he gets them in the playoffs or just the playing game alone, he definitely deserves that trophy. Like just hand it over. The Hornets are a good fit for him. I agree with that. Like LaMelo it would be good for the NBA too. Like, to hand over LaMelo Ball, the Rookie of the Year, and make a lot of headlines. More players coming up that are a bit more controversial are going to be hyped up if LaMelo succeeds, So I like it, man. I like all the drama. I like the, that type of gameplay that LaMelo's on. Yeah, bro. Like if LaMelo shows up to the playoffs and he starts having like 30-point games, it's gonna be bananas, man.
At the moment, he's already averaging 19.5 points per game. He's averaging 6 and 5.8 rebounds and shooting 46.4% from the field and 42.6% from the three.
Bro, those are crazy numbers if you think about it. A rookie. Everyone was calling this dude overhyped, played overseas, all this stuff. Rookie putting that up.
I honestly was one of them. I was like, I think LeVar is probably like, it wasn't super talented. I thought that LeVar maybe like done too much. He was speaking too much and putting way too much on these guys' shoulders, but LaMelo, he's able to handle it the most. Lonzo looked like he crumbled underneath the pressure, whereas LaMelo would thrive under it. And the fact that he gets to learn from MJ himself, like this is the best draft pick that MJ has had since owning the Hornets, and this could be his like guy that he had. This could be his Steph Curry. This could be his guy that is playing here for the rest of his career. Because think about who the Warriors were before they drafted Steph Curry. I mean, even after they drafted Steph Curry because he couldn't stay on the court. Like Steph Curry looked like he was going to be a bum. Couldn't stay on the court. A young kid from Davidson looked like it was a wasted draft pick, and now he revolutionized the game. And LaMelo Ball could do the exact same thing for them there in Charlotte. I almost said New Orleans. In Charlotte.
Yeah.
The number 2 guy, and I agree with this one, Anthony Edwards. It's just I think that beginning of the year just didn't help.
Right.
The Rookie of the Year is that one award where winning doesn't necessarily matter.
Exactly.
It's how you shine on said team. So even though the Timberwolves are right behind us in terms of worst team in the league, a guy like Anthony Edwards and he's being allowed to shine. They're not trying to hamper him and force him to lose, but he's balling out. He's so through the last 10 games, he's got a 24.9 points per game and 6.2 rebounds per game. So I mean, I like it, man. Dude's got a bright future, and if they can just find a right coach to get that team together in Minnesota, so much talent on that team. Not really a reason that they shouldn't be picking 2 times in a row when you have Cat.
Definitely not.
When you have Cat, and Anthony Edwards, like, you should not be in the running for Cade.
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't be this bad to begin with, but stuff happens.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got here. We got most improved player. This is a no-brainer, and we can go ahead and talk about it now. Your man Julius Randle from the New York.
Yeah, man. Julius has had an amazing season, bro. I want to tell everyone listening a quick story about Julius. So, I actually worked for the Rockets for about 8 months. I kind of was like on a street team type of role, but it was cool because I got to go in the organization. I got to meet the people who work in the offices, do the pay the employees payroll, all that kind of stuff, right? I got to be in Toyota Center in times where there weren't games. Sometimes we would go, we'd help on a volunteer basis. We'd distribute shirts, give out shoes, all this type of cool stuff. So, just during one of these shifts when I was working, we were actually in the lower bowl behind the scenes, kind of moving equipment around, getting ready for an event the next day. So it was nighttime. And we were playing the Lakers the next day. The Rockets were playing the Lakers. So I saw a lot of people showing up to the arena, and they were wearing Lakers gear. And, like the young fan in me was like, oh, like, hate the Lakers, But whatever, dude. Like, it was a professional setting. I didn't overreact. Yeah. When I was leaving my shift, many of you might know the Rockets practice court is located in Toyota Center. And it's right there it's on the side of the stadium, and there's some windows there you could kind of peek through. Well, anyways, when I was walking to my car at the end of the shift, I saw all the practice court lights up, and I peeked in there because I was like, who's practicing right now? It was already like 9:00 at night, And then I looked in there, and it was Julius Randle, dude. It was Julius Randle and a trainer. And I'm talking about Julius was going full court to full court. Like, the trainer was throwing him the ball, and Julius was just driving the entire court, throwing a dunk, throwing a layup. And no one was around me, like, rushing me. The window wasn't wide open, so it's not like they could see me, but I had a great view of it. And I watched Julius for about 25 minutes, dude, just being relentless, just pushing himself, pushing his cardio. And I swear, dude, when I saw him, I was like, man, this guy's going to be good. And I never even thought highly of him, to be honest. I thought he was, like, overrated coming out of LSU.
Yeah, same.
So fast forward, a couple weeks ago, I hear an interview about Julius Randle, and he says that Kobe Bryant always told him, he asked Kobe, how can I get better? What are some of the small things I can do? Kobe Bryant told him, when you show up to the next city, go and start practicing right away. As soon as you land, don't worry about anything else, but go to the gym and get your shots up. So it connected the bridge for me. It let me see that Julius has actually been doing this for years, and now he's living the results. That's why he's having that fantastic season, because he's put in all those extra hours. When he landed at Toyota Center, he got to work right away, man. And to be honest, I want to shout him out because Julius was on the same team with a lot of those young Laker guys, back when Ingram was there, all that young core, bro. And right now, Brandon Ingram had it last year, but right now it looks like Julius Randle could be the best player out of that young core. So that's my mini story rant on Julius Randle. I'm really happy for him. I can't wait to see what happens next for him.
Absolutely, man. I mean, he's having a great season, man. Like, if he was just doing this for the entire season, he would be up there with Nikola Jokic for MVP, I think. I only see he's looking at so he's averaging career highs in both points, rebounds, and assists. So he's averaging 23 per game. Rebounding is 11 rebound a game, and he's averaging 6 assists. Yeah, man. The fact that he's doing this, and not only that, it's showing in the record for the New York Knicks. New York made the playoffs for the first time in I don't know how many years, and it's because of this man right here. This man and the work that Tom Thibodeau's putting in with him.
Right.
This is actually and Julius Randle could be the reason and could probably be credited for why Tom Thibodeau is talked about as much as he is now, and his kind of resurgence. Because don't forget, like, Tom Thibodeau for a while was kind of the guy that no team really wanted to look at. He was seen as maybe possibly running Derrick Rose into the ground in Chicago. and to the point where Jimmy Butler didn't even want to play with him anymore.
Joakim Noah.
Yeah, Joakim Noah, and then he goes to I think he goes to Minnesota and just doesn't do anything. So at this point, it has to be a front office thing in Minnesota.
Yeah.
It's not a coach thing. It might be a front office thing, but that's neither here nor there. But now he's here in New York. He's there in New York and got them to the 4 seed in the playoffs. They're gonna have a home playoff series, like a home
exactly.
It's insane, man. And like I said, he's reaping the benefits of all that hard work that he's put in. And as long as he keeps putting in that same hard work and keeps that Mamba mentality, like this man could possibly put the New York Knicks back on the map. And that would be crazy if it happens, man. It would be insane. Think about how long that's all you ever hear about is people say when the Lakers and the New York Knicks are great, basketball is great. Like NBA, that's when NBA is at its height. And right now we have great Lakers, and now we have great New York Knicks. And I think this is probably one of my favorite. I've loved this basketball season. I'm constantly getting alerts. Like even if I'm not watching whatever game, I'll constantly get an alert like from my Apple TV. Like, dude, there's a close game. You need to check it out.
Yeah.
I'll check it out. Like I checked out that Grizzlies Denver game when what's his name when Jokic went for I think 58.
Yeah,
man. So this has been a crazy season, and maybe it's because like people say the New York Knicks and the LA Lakers are great again. So could be a big thing. All right, let's go ahead and look at one more. I want to see. Oh, another most improved player, which I just love. I just like this guy a lot. Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is up for most improved, but I think if you take it away from Julius Randle, it's not fair.
Yeah, I think the 4 seed combined with what he's done makes it pretty hard to take it away.
Yeah, exactly. Another guy, another little thing that you could be on there if he wouldn't have gotten hurt. Is Christian Wood. Christian Wood was
absolutely
most improved player, but the injury kind of stopped him. He's averaging career highs in points, rebounds, assists, 3-point shooting, and blocks, having his best so far. He's averaging 22 points a game, 10.1 rebounds a game, 1.4 assists. He's shooting 39.8% from 3, and he's got 1.6 blocks a game. So,
wow.
So let's hope this carries over to next year.
Definitely, man.
Sixth man of the year. We've heard this name all the time in Sixth man of the year. Jordan Clarkson, Utah Jazz.
Yeah,
makes complete sense. You know, the one seed, definitely helps that case. Chris Boucher is up there for sixth man, and so is
from Toronto.
Yeah, and then Montrezl Harrell is also up there. And defensive player of the year, and this one's kind of a pleasant surprise. Ben Simmons.
Wow,
Ben Simmons.
That would be great for him, man, because I feel like it was a rocky season for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like we still didn't see like the improvement on the 3 ball or anything like that. So for him to win defensive player of the year would be huge, man. I bet it give him a lot.
If you're not gonna focus on shooting, if you're not gonna practice that shooting, might as well focus on that defense and become that guy. I will say, I forgot who asked. I think Shannon Sharp said, "How dumb do the Rockets feel not trading for Ben Simmons?" And I kind of felt that a little bit. I was like, considering what we got, yeah, you kind of have a point.
Yeah, I absolutely has a point. I mean, I wasn't big on the Ben Simmons trade, but I didn't realize like how crappy it could get. You know what I mean? Like I never imagined we would get the pieces that we got only. So I'll say it, man. I regret my words. I wish we had Ben Simmons and Christian Wood.
Yeah, Ben Simmons and Christian Wood. And the big thing about Ben Simmons is he's a point guard. He's literally one of those. He's like a LeBron James, where LeBron can cover 1 through 5. I think Ben Simmons can legit cover 1 through 5. Obviously not as good at covering at the 5 as LeBron would be, but when he needs to get in there against like smaller guys like a Kristaps Porzingis or probably a Nikola Jokic or something, like he can make his presence known, and I would definitely like that on this team.
Well, that's a good point, because if you think about it, LeBron and AD just won the championship, and if you would have put together Ben Simmons and Christian Wood, I mean, that's basically like the B level of that tandem. You know what I mean?
Exactly. what could have been, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have to settle with the Linux.
Yeah, we'll have to settle for Cade. I think I can settle for Cade. I'll definitely.
Yeah, if we get Cade, it'll all be worth it, I think.
Yeah. Rudy Gobert is another favorite, but Rudy Gobert is always there.
Yeah.
He's just a constant. He's just a bug, man, on defense. He's the guy that he changes shots. You don't have to be lane to the basket with him on the court. So, and another guy kind of surprised one for me, but welcome surprise is Miles Turner, in the Indiana Pacers. He is
like it.
He's leading the NBA in blocks per game this year. He's got 3.4,
wow,
which is insane. He's 7th in defensive win shares and 10th in defensive rating. So it's crazy. A small guy, young guy like that, Miles Turner leading the game in blocks. It's nice to see. But
yeah,
I think Ben Simmons is the clear cut. You got to give it to him.
Yeah,
all right,
we're rooting for you.
So, as you said, Rockets probably going to get Cade or trying to get Cade. So good to see that. It's pretty quiet on the Texans end. Not really much going on. I think things are dying down before the Deshaun Watson case goes to court. And probably before that, we'll hear that he's on the exempt list. Most likely before the season starts. I doubt he'll start a game at all this year. There's just too much going on. But if it's going to court, and it seems like his defense team, his legal team is coming up with a defense. We'll see how it all plays out. But let's get to one of my favorite things in football. And that is the NFL draft. That is on Thursday night, the 29th. And I am stoked, man. Even though we know kind of the first 3 picks, or at least the first pick, it doesn't take away from my excitement for this event. But let's go ahead and do you want to go ahead and give your top pick? I mean, your top 3 picks. It'll be the most likely quarterbacks.
Yeah. I'll give my first 3. So, number 1, Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I think that's the no-brainer. Mm-hmm. Number 2 is going to be Trey Lance. I mean, I think everybody's just kind of fell in love with him as the second best in the media. And I think the Jets are going to be susceptible to what like the media says and thinks is best. Like I just don't see them picking against that. And my third one is like, I guess me trying to be more bold. I'm going with Justin Fields at 3. I think Shanahan and the Niners are bluffing on Mac Jones. And what really made me think they might go for it is just thinking about the 49ers in the Super Bowl and kind of thinking how sorry, I'm spacing out on their quarterback's name.
Garoppolo.
The 49ers. Garoppolo. Just thinking about how Garoppolo was really good, bro. He was above average quarterback all year. He played good. But in the Super Bowl, he wasn't able to give them that momentum or push them over the hump or kind of had that playmaking ability like Patrick Mahomes did. And that was kind of the difference. So when I really started thinking about that, I was like, you know what? I think maybe Justin Fields has been overhyped. I think maybe Mac Jones was overhyped. Mm-hmm. And I think Kyle Shanahan might pull a surprise, just go for Justin Fields. He might not be have all the tools, but he has that playmaking ability. So that's why I'm putting him at 3.
All right. Yeah, number 1, definitely. I mean, at this point, if the Jacksonville Jaguars don't select Trevor Lawrence, it'll be a riot in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
It'll be
Urban
bad.
Meyer will be fired.
I think at that point, if Roger Goodell looks at the card and sees it's not Trevor Lawrence, he might have to make an executive decision and be like,
yeah,
there's Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
they get him. they might get mad, but it's Trevor Lawrence. That's the guy. He's been the guy since he was in high school. Basically, that's who everyone was expecting to be number 1 pick. You see it when you watch him on the field. Not great seasons this past couple of years, but I think this past year his weapons were not as good as they were the past couple of years. This was probably a batch of weapons. Not saying that they were bad, but think about it like T. Higgins was their number one guy last year. Went first round. There's not a Clemson guy going first round in this draft. I don't believe.
Yeah.
Maybe ETN, but I think ETN is going to be a early second round guy. I think ETN has always been an early second round guy.
Right.
This is probably his worst chance, and he went out to probably not a better quarterback, but definitely the better team when they lost to Ohio State. My number 2, just because I think that's where all the noise is pointing to is Zach Wilson. They seem to him. I think it's a mistake. My number 2 quarterback in the draft is Justin Fields.
Yeah.
But I have said from the get-go that I'm not 100% sold on any quarterback besides Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't put money on any of these guys becoming, like, top-tier guys.
And not to mention, just to add to that, like, the Jets picking also, because, like, in the past, it's like the Jets drafting, you can't always rely on them to make that best fit for them.
Yeah. So before the season, like, before they traded away Sam Darnold, my first thought was they should go with Penny Sewell or go with Jamar Chase, give Sam Darnold a weapon and give him like a legit chance. But he doesn't really have an offensive line behind him. They have a good defense, but that's about it. And they don't really have any weapons. Like, they have what? Robbie Anderson? Robbie Anderson's not even there. Robbie Anderson's in Carolina. They let Robbie Anderson go last year. Sam Darnold's being reunited with Robbie Anderson. And I think they might be kicking themselves when they see if Sam Darnold has a much better year than he had last year. So that is definitely up there for that. But I'll go Zach Wilson. And I was torn on this pick for the 49ers. I've never believed the Mac Jones hype. I don't believe that they will ever believe the Mac Jones hype. But I think Kyle Shanahan is highly intrigued by the possibility of taking Trey Lance. The Shanahans seem like show-offs. And by that I mean they like to show that they can do what others can't. They like to take a guy that they might not – like a Garoppolo. They like to show like, oh, Garoppolo got kicked out of New England and we only had to give up a second for him or a fourth for him. Yeah, it was only a fourth.
Yeah.
We'll take him to the Super Bowl, and that's exactly what they did. And I think that Trey Lance has way less experience than these other guys. You look at, I think it's like, I think Trevor Lawrence has like 90 games of experience in football, 90 football game experience. And Trey
All
Lance,
I know is he's only lost 2.
yeah, and Trey Lance only has like, I want to say maybe 20 games experience, not even.
Yeah.
So it's like the huge difference. But I think if anyone out of the guys besides Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance might have the highest ceilings.
Yeah.
He has the intangibles. He's a mobile quarterback. He's got the body size. Like, he's got the arm talent. He just has to work on the accuracy. Like, he's a guy that's definitely intriguing. But I don't think John Lynch lets them trade up, because you probably could have got Trey Lance where they were at, maybe, or especially Mac Jones. You definitely could have got Mac Jones at. I think they were at definitely could have got Mac Jones. So I don't see them going that way. I think John Lynch says, I understand, Kyle, but Justin Fields is the guy, and I think Justin Fields would be a good pick for them, without a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I respect those picks for sure. Like, I think that's part of it too, is like the organization's picking. We don't exactly know which way they're leaning. Like with the 49ers, you kind of know it's whoever Kyle Shanahan likes. With the Jets, it's kind of more of a situation of like, well, they're probably just going to take like the most talented, or who they think is the most talented person, you know? So it's like, It's like two different situations. And the Jaguars is like, you have a franchise changing player. I mean, you have to take Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on, just more of the draft in general?
So at number 4, the Atlanta Falcons, I go back and forth on this one because I don't necessarily think they need him. And I'm talking about Kyle Pitts, tight end Florida. I don't think they need him. But god damn, at number 4, that's going to be hard to turn down. That's going to be hard to pass up. So I do think they're going to pull the trigger, give Matt Ryan one more year. Because I was thinking they might go. That's a nice little receiving core there. You have Gabriel. You have not Gabriel. Ridley. You have Julio Jones. You have this other dude, the Gage from yet last year, and a really decent offensive line. You need a cornerback, possibly go Patrick Surtain. But, how do you pass up Kyle Pitts? I don't think you do, and I don't think they will.
Yeah.
You pass up Kyle Pitts. That's like one of those all those guys passing on Patrick Mahomes, all those teams passing on Patrick Mahomes. But it's even worse because everybody wants Kyle Pitts. If you look at it, Miami would have no problem taking Kyle Pitts.
Oh, they would love that.
Cincinnati would have no problem taking Kyle Pitts. They already got their quarterback. So I think they take him here because he's not making it past Cincinnati. No chance of them trading back up to get him. Cincinnati at number 5. I'll probably go Penny Sewell. Their top priority, the Bengals' top priority has to be protecting Joe Burrow. And the Bengals offensive line was probably the worst offensive line this past year. And he was able to put up Rookie of the Year numbers if he wouldn't have got hurt. So that tells you everything you need to know about what the Bengals got to do. First, I know Burrow wants Jamar Chase on the team, but it's just not worth it. You need to protect him.
Dude, I just noticed. Did I say Trey Lance or Zach Wilson at 2?
I think he said Zach Wilson.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure I said Zach Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. No, Jamar Chase, though, so, I mean, I think at this point, the way I see it, too, is with Tua is, they're still trying to figure out, how elite he can be. So if you have someone like Jamar Chase, you at least could give him, 1 or 2 seasons to see if he can get something done with him, at least make some plays. So that's kind of why I could see, assuming the other guys get taken where they get taken, Jamar Chase would be a good fit for Miami.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I have 3. I have 3 receivers coming off the board back to back. So I have the Dolphins taking Jamar Chase at 6, the Lions taking Devontae Smith at 7, and then the Panthers taking Jalen Waddle. But I can see the Panthers trading out of that pick. I can see the Panthers trading out of that pick. I don't think they might not stay there. Especially if Jamar, if the Dolphins and Lions go different ways and decide not to go for wide receivers, and then all of a sudden they have 3 wide receivers to choose from. I think that Carolina would not be, and you see that a lot. If there's a plethora of a certain position that a team needs, they'll trade back to hope that some of those guys get taken out and they can make their choice based off of that. So, or possibly believe they could get them later on and get more picks down the line. But I got Jamar Chase to the Dolphins, Devontae Smith to the Lions, and Jalen Waddle to the Panthers. And then I have the Broncos taking Trey Lance at number 9. Drew Lock's not the guy. Yeah. You have really nice talent at wide receiver in Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton. They do need a running back too, but that's way too early to take a running back. You could probably get ET in round 2.
Sure.
So I would go with Trey Lance at number 9. I don't know if that's a fit for Trey Lance. You could let what's his name, Drew Lock, play another year. But yeah, that's where my mind goes. And then at number 10, Dallas Cowboys. There's no question about it. It's Patrick Surtain. Cornerback from Alabama. If they don't take Patrick Surtain, I've heard people saying Kyle Pitts could possibly fall to the Cowboys. But even then, I think if you take Kyle Pitts over helping your defense, it is not good. It would not be good for the Cowboys. It would just be a entire disaster.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have nothing crazy after that. 11, Rashawn Slater, tackle from Northwestern. At the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm trying to think. I don't think they go Mac Jones. I don't know if that's the quarterback that they want. Maybe Micah Parsons. The other receivers, I'm just not. I wouldn't take Rashad Bateman at number 12. Yeah, that's a little bit of a reach. So I would probably go Micah Parsons from Penn State to go to the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah. Christian Darrisaw is my pick for the Chargers. Number one thing, protect Herbert. Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings. I think I might have my first safety coming off, and that's Trevin Moehrig.
Okay.
From TCU, and then I have the New England Patriots taking Mac Jones at 15. If that happens, everyone needs to be afraid of Mac Jones.
Yeah, absolutely. If that happens, everyone's gonna think that the quarterbacks taken before him were not as good.
And that's why I think you don't hear Belichick talking about any quarterbacks. You don't hear anything. I think he wants Mac to fall, so he doesn't have to take him, because I think he might fit. He's Tom Brady. Mac Jones is built like Tom Brady, doesn't move, is extremely smart, knows the game back and forth. When people ask me why I don't like Mac Jones, I can't explain why I don't like Mac Jones. I just can't. There's not really any rhyme or reason why I don't like him. It's just something about him I don't like. Not as a person, obviously, but
yeah.
He might be a great guy. I don't know, but it's something I don't like about his game. Like, if the Texans drafted Mac Jones, I don't know if I would be happy. I would be very disappointed. I'd be like, we're gonna go from Deshaun to Mac. I don't know how I feel about that one. But he has all the intangibles. Like, everything. He's got the football IQ. He's got the build. He's got the arm. He doesn't have the mobility, but you don't necessarily need that, like a Tom Brady. But I don't know. Something about it just seems off. I think maybe it's playing in Alabama. Alabama quarterbacks don't do well in the NFL.
Yeah. So Belichick does have a great relationship with Nick Saban. So he's definitely, in my opinion, Belichick is getting the most transparent information from Saban over. So if 5 coaches are asking about Mac Jones and one of them is Belichick, I can guarantee you Belichick's going to know the real deal, because Saban and him have that relationship. He's not going to screw him over if he doesn't think he's a great fit. And yeah, I could see it happening. I mean, Belichick never needed exactly like a sexy type of quarterback. And not to mention, Belichick has also been successful at trading backup quarterbacks. So even if this guy doesn't work out as the guy in New England, Belichick knows how to flip him for more assets. I mean, all you got to do is look at Garoppolo, or you can also look at Brissett when he played for the Colts. You know what I mean?
I said look at Brandon Cooks too. He was able to Brandon Cooks for a nice little. I think got a first for Brandon Cooks.
Exactly. So yeah, I think Belichick has, like, unless there's a big red flag on Mac Jones, I think Belichick has no issues drafting him here. I think he would feel lucky to actually have him fall to this point. And he for sure would take him.
All right, man. I like it. So then I made some picks while I was doing it. At number 16 to the Cardinals, I have Christian Barmore, the defensive tackle from Alabama. You will never go wrong picking an Alabama defensive player. You'll never go wrong doing that.
It's true.
So that's a nice little pick. They need defense. At number 17, the Las Vegas Raiders, J.C. Horn. They gotta guys in the air. You gotta stop guys in the air, and that's probably the best guy on the besides Surtain is the next cornerback in my mind from South Carolina. 18. I know they're not 100% sold on Tua, but why not try to keep him on his feet? I got them taking Elijah Vera Tucker from USC, the tackle. 19. There's no QBs to take here for the Washington football team. Why not give? Yeah. Why not you? But you got lucky with McLaren. Like McLaren turned out to be a huge get for the Washington football team. Let's get one more guy over there, Rashad Bateman from Minnesota. I want it. Give Fitzpatrick every chance to. You won the division. Do it again.
And you can win it again, right? Like there's no clear cut favorite in the East again. You know, it's not like somebody's reloading on like major defense or anything. Exactly. Yeah, Fitzpatrick's been there, dude. He could do it.
Exactly. He's taken someone to playoffs and just maybe eked out a victory or two. At number 20 for the Chicago Bears, I got them taking Greg Newsome from Northwestern, the cornerback. There's no quarterbacks available. You signed Andy Dalton. Might as well get teams off the field early. 21. This one was actually tough. I didn't know where I wanted to go with this one. I almost went Kwity Paye from Michigan. The tackle Walker Little, but I felt like that was a little bit more of a reach. So I went Elijah Moore, wide receiver. They had a lot of receivers go down last year. So they could use some more. So I went Elijah Moore from Mississippi. And then for the Tennessee Titans, I got them taking Walker Little, the tackle from Stanford. Just one more asset for Derrick Henry. I would never say no to that. Jets, I'll probably have them going Kwity Paye here. No. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. I'm going Caleb Fairley, cornerback from Virginia Tech. I think Fairley is probably my favorite cornerback besides Surtain. I don't know. I just like his game. I think he's got it in him. And then for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I have them reaching. Where is he? I might have to look. Can I? I don't know if I can. Najee Harris. I got them taking Najee Harris.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I know running backs in the first round aren't sexy, but the dude's legit, man. I mean, how do you not? And they need a running back. They need one bad.
Yeah, man. And plus, it's Ben's final years. Like if you want to give him a tool, it's perfect.
Exactly. Where is he?
O-line or running back?
Yeah, exactly. And I think running back is probably where to go. Surprisingly, Pro Football Focus has Najee Harris below Javonte Williams. That's interesting. So in terms of rank, they have Javonte Williams at 53 and Najee Harris at 65. I don't know about that one.
That seems a little too low, in my opinion.
All right, and then we have the Jacksonville Jaguars back up there, back on the clock. I might go. I'm stuck between Elijah Molden and Tevin Jenkins. I think if you were going to draft Trevor Lawrence, get another tackle. So I'll go Tevin Jenkins from Oklahoma State.
I think you're right. I'm looking at a projected draft pick, and they got Wyatt Davis from Ohio State, the O-lineman. But yeah, I mean, come on. If you're drafting QB of the future, like why not show some respect and get an O-lineman with him?
Exactly. Cleveland Browns. They need an inside. They need a tackle, but I mean, not a tackle, but a tackle. So I would probably go more defense, but on the outside or in the inside, but not an edge rusher. So I'm going Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah from Notre Dame, the linebacker from Notre Dame.
Clowney, Myles Garrett.
Yeah, man.
Piece, maybe.
Yeah, man. If Barmore was available, I would take. I would if they could. if I'm Cleveland, I might trade up to go get him.
Oh,
Go trade up to go get Barmore because that's the piece
I like that.
they got corners, they got edge rushers, but you need that piece inside, like in the middle, to stop the dude. They were getting destroyed by Kansas City. Like, how do you not defer? To me, fuck the offense. Like, don't worry about the offense. The offense is gonna do what the offense does.
Yeah.
Focus on that defense and stopping guys like Patrick Mahomes, like Josh Allen. Like, you have to do that, man. I think that if you can trade up and go get him. I'm not doing trades because I'm not great at them, but I would do that. I would go get him. At 27, I'm going Kwity Paye for the Baltimore Ravens from Michigan. Ooh, excuse me. Tevin. I mean, for the Saints, based on what I have left, I'm gonna go Terrace Marshall Jr. from LSU.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, if you're
like
new quarterback, get some weapons in. I like Michael Thomas. Don't love Michael Thomas. I think Michael Thomas and Drew Brees had that thing that he just always knew where Michael Thomas was on the field. I don't know if Jameis or Taysom Hill are going to have that same connection with
absolutely
with Michael Thomas.
It's and you see that same type of result with what's going on in Buffalo with
exactly.
Gosh, I'm spacing out on names right
now with Diggs and Allen.
With Diggs and Allen, exactly. So you see how important that dynamic is, and like I think a lot of like they were saying how like 15 out of 32 teams are expecting a new quarterback to start this year, and people wonder why like it doesn't always work out. Those relationships matter, dude. If you can get a wide receiver that complements your quarterback on and off the field, I mean that's half the battle. You find that right piece for Tua, maybe he's not so bad a quarterback as you think.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, when you talk about like off the field too, Thomas had Drew Brees back from even when he went through that stuff with the, just talking out of his ass and saying he didn't understand the kneeling, he didn't agree with it. Like Michael Thomas pulled him aside and was like, that's not the deal. That's not the thing you say. And they moved past it and was able to. I think Michael Thomas is the reason why the team didn't turn on Drew. At 29, I'm going for the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to Asante Samuel Jr., cornerback from Florida State. If Antoine Winfield Jr. has anything to say about how those genes pass on, I like it for Asante Samuel Jr. The Buffalo Bills, I got them taking Jason Owe from Penn State, the edge rusher. The Baltimore Ravens back on the clock. Who did I have? I had them taking Kwity Paye. So I think I'm gonna have them taking Dylan Radunes from North Dakota State. And then for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, how do you make this team better? I honestly think they're gonna trade out of this pick. I think they're gonna let someone trade up for it. But if anyone's available, from what I have here, I'm going to go. I don't know why Pro Football Focus has quarterback as a Buccaneer need, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, come on, bro. They sound kind of off on that.
I think they're set at quarterback. They only have.
I think wide receiver is more realistic for them than a quarterback. Just my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm going to go. I think I'll probably shore up the defense again. There's a lot of weapons on the offensive side, so I'm going to go Elijah Molden, safety from Washington. Might be a little bit of a reach, but like I said, I think they're going to trade out of that pick. And get something because round 2, they'll probably trade up like with maybe Philly or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and still be able to land Elijah Molden where they're at. But for now, I'll have them taking Elijah Molden from Washington. That's my first round draft. So we'll see how it pans out. I'm excited. We'll probably be texting back and forth during the show, so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and head out of here. But before we do, I just want to give a shout out to the Floyd family. As we know, we heard the verdict, and thank goodness it was the right verdict. Derek Chauvin was found guilty on all counts. I think it was one for what was it, second degree murder or third degree murder? I want to get it.
I can't remember. I think it's third, but I don't want to get it wrong.
I want to get it right. I want to get it right completely. So let's see. Derek Chauvin, guilty of murder. Okay, let's see. It's from NBC News. He was convicted of second and third degree murder, as well as second degree manslaughter. Found guilty on all charges. He will be sentenced in a month or two. Not sure where that goes. I think that'll be a very big topic of discussion too. But luckily, the justice was given, was found for the Floyd family and George Floyd as well. I'm not going to say what Nancy Pelosi said. That was ridiculous. I can't believe she said that. I don't know did you hear what she said?
No.
She said she basically thanked George Floyd for sacrificing his life for civil rights. And I was like, he didn't. And people were like, he didn't sacrifice his life. He was murdered. He wasn't a martyr. He didn't take a stand. Like, he was murdered.
Yeah, I get
that. And I think I saw some people say, like, people show their true colors. So just keep an eye on Nancy Pelosi. But
thank God California water, man.
Yeah, man. But thank God we got the right verdict that I think was without a doubt in a lot of our heads. I know in my head it was without a doubt that was murder. I'm pretty sure you probably agree. But, I'm glad to see what happened and just hope that good comes from this and that we do see some major change in how officers handle certain things. We should be getting the officers that stood by their court cases coming up. And I hope they're held accountable too. Obviously not to the degree that Derek Chauvin was, but they need to be held accountable. And because I believe it's in the code that you not only have to, like, you're not only supposed to take care, like correct yourself, but as an officer, you're also supposed to correct the people around you and the people that you work with, and basically call them out on their BS. So that should go a long way into changing that. And unfortunately, we have had a few more killings here. I know one of them. I can't believe I'm blanking on it. Dontel Wright. Dontel Wright was recently killed, and hopefully, justice is had there. And also, I hope that we don't start going crazy and calling everything, and comparing everything to the George Floyd case. Look at the Ma'Khia Bryant case. That was 100% like completely taken out of context by LeBron James, and luckily he did put out a statement apologizing. He basically called out the officer for murder. Turns out that Ma'Khia Bryant was actually the offender here, and the officer that killed her obviously wasn't on purpose, but he made a split seconds that I definitely would not have wanted to make. So while we're also holding certain officers accountable, we also need to maybe appreciate some other officers that are out there and that are doing the good thing that I would not want to have to do. So yeah, I'll leave my statement at that. I don't know if there's anything you would want to say on it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't have anything prepared, but I mean, I'll never forget, what happened to George Floyd. I mean, that was a complete tragedy in my opinion. I mean, watching that video, like everyone, it left me sick. And I'm a big believer in the law, and things like this have got me thinking about my future, and wanting to contribute to society in better ways, because that's what it takes to truly reform things. We need people with more education, with better training, and also just like being kind to one another. That's one thing, like I think that goes away a lot. A lot of people are far left or far right and kind of see their point of view only. And it's important to just listen to other people, man, because life is short, dude. And you really got to respect, even if you don't agree with people. There's plenty of people I don't agree with. I mean, but you have to understand where people are coming from. They see the world different than you. And I think once we can all learn to appreciate that, maybe we can heal a little bit. But yeah, man, that's all I really want to say. But yeah, it was no doubt a tragedy, and I hope only better things come for the future.
Absolutely, guys. Best thing you can do is have conversations with people. And that's how this stuff's going to get fixed. So for the regular podcast, you can find me on Twitter at AlecMiller0423. I am Alec Miller. And we'll see you next week. Paul, go ahead and let them know where they can find you, man.
Yeah, man. P.O. Trinidad on Instagram. Hit me up. Let's talk sports.
Absolutely.
Politics.
Hell yeah. It's all good, man. We cover it all here at the regular podcast. So we'll see you guys next week for draft results. And I don't know, probably a clear-cut MVP. Probably not. Hopefully, no more of this Steph Curry nonsense. And we'll see you guys next week. Oh, peace out, guys.
Deuces.